Hi, it's Deb here from the Thoughtful Pantry. I just wanted to do a little video on why you may choose a TM6 over a TM7. I know that there's a real lot of hype and anticipation for the new TM7. However, I just wanted to talk about why it would be something that you would potentially be actually thinking over or contemplating on making an informed choice in regards to purchasing a Thermomix. So as we all know, the TM6 that's currently out has been out for better part of 5, 6, maybe even more than that. I can't even remember, even though I was at the original launch. And it's been going for so long, and you can see them in so many kitchens. So it's showing to you that that device, that machine, is very much still loved and very much still used within a lot of homes. So there's that ability of knowing what you already know to work. And the reason why this might become a selling point to yourself is particularly with high-end products. A lot of people are a little bit hesitant on making an investment, because I believe truly a Thermomix is an investment, but it is a really helpful and a good investment. But when you're outlaying that money, I know that there's sometimes a little bit of hesitancy. So someone who is quite hesitant, they're wanting to go with something that's assured, something that's already known to be effective, something that is working well. So that may be a reason why you choose a TM6 over a TM7. Obviously, I've got to state the obvious. You'll see behind me here all the different accessories that you get included with your TM6. Never before, until when we started doing the launch for the TM7, did Thermomix ever offer this amount of accessories for free. It's a value of $1,000 for those. I should be pointing over there because I'm seeing it reverse, so I'll go and do this. But anyway, you've got the glider board that is worth $150, $149. You've got 12 months cookie dough subscription instead of the classic 3 months that you get with your machine for free. You've got the cutter, which is invaluable if you're into meal prepping and cutting. And then you've got the blade cover, the second bowl, and we'll go into that a little bit more. And then the new accessory, the spiralizer, which is to make those gorgeous ribbons and noodles. So literally from the moment that you start with your machine, you've pretty much got everything you need or ever would want from a Thermomix. I am an old person that you know, I've been with all 3 models, and to me, the second bowl is always going to be, for me, the thing that I personally can't live without. The interchanging, the swapping. You know, so often we're in a hurry and then we go from wanting to make one thing to another thing and then realizing we forgot an ingredient to millet, or we're wanting to add something else so where we can interchange the bowls. So definitely a second bowl is something that when you become familiar with the Thermomix, you really embrace and really would like. Unfortunately, when the TM7 is available, none of these accessories or the bowl are going to be available for any time soon, obviously because it is the new model. We're also looking at the fact that one's white, or one's black and one's white. You really want to take that into consideration. A lot of people, it could be from what it actually looks like within your kitchen. And for other people's, it really doesn't matter. They just absolutely love Thermomix. And so they're kind of going, no, I just don't mind. It could be the fact that you don't want to wait until when they come available in stock. Or it might be the fact that, one, you have to pay for pre-sale for the full price at time of purchasing versus you've got multiple different payment plans with our TM6s current. Now, a lot of people may not understand the reason for this being. The reason being is in Australia, we cannot sell something on any payment option, whether it's interest-free or part payments, because if we don't have the actual physical machine at the time of the person purchasing the machine. That is why only within the pre-sale time, you will be required to make that full payment. And yes, you know, a lot of people may want to wait until the Thermomix TM7 becomes available. However, just bear in mind, because of the influx of people, you still might have a bit of a delay in getting that because of depending on when you choose to purchase. They're you know, whether they're available within Australia or we're waiting for extra shipment of those TM7s. But back to the why. Other reasons why you may choose a TM6 over a TM7. And it's very easy sometimes. It's a bit like when Apple bring out a new upgraded iPhone, you know, straight away there's some people who just want the latest, but then there's other people who actually use their Thermomix or their iPhone for particular reasons and may want different features that perhaps the new updated feature doesn't present. And I can think of a few situations where a person may want to have a TM6. So that one would be if you travel with your Thermomix. So you could be someone living in a tiny space, tiny house, caravan, boat, or you've got it in a holiday house where you basically pack it away and take it in and out. That movement of constantly lifting it in and out, the fact that you've got the casing on the TM6 and the handle makes for easy access, especially if it's not yourself that's actually utilizing it and taking it out of the cupboard in and out. You're wanting to get probably that little bit more protection and stability in the transportation of doing so. And that would be the same within a commercial kitchen. A commercial kitchen, one wouldn't probably like so big a larger screen in the kitchen. It could be quite distracting. They might be wanting something a bit more simplistic and a bit more durable to be able to put on a bench in and out and move it around a lot more quickly. So they are probably, I would say, definitely people who would want to gravitate and maybe consider the TM6 over the TM7. And I'm not saying that those people may not have the TM7 in their holiday house, caravan, or what have you, but it would be maybe something they've been considering. The other thing is for people with disabilities or special needs, understanding that we've got an amazing new visual display. However, the way that the recipe now displays is slightly a bit different. And because of that, we don't no longer with ingredients have that next screen. So if you think of someone who actually needs things really simplified, the executive function, they're needing that kind of only a little bit of information to read, they would definitely rely on the TM6 over the new look of the interface on the TM7. And like this has all got to do with not the functionality, not the functionality, but the use. It's for how people prefer to utilize their Thermomix as to what could potentially make you choose between the TM6 and the TM7. Now, the other thing too is getting it in your hot little hands. As soon as we outlay some money, we want to see exactly what we've purchased. And some people may just want to start cooking straight away. And then obviously that would lend you to the TM6. It would also probably lend you to the TM6 if you have got, you know, one of your children leaving home and they want a machine and they're already come familiar with your TM6. So then it makes it a lot easier for them to be set up and going along. But that was just a few little things I just wanted to touch on. And, you know, I would love to know, have you been considering the bundle offer with all of its accessory, maybe for a second machine? I know, and I remember when I first got my second Thermomix, you know, I felt like it was a bit of a luxury item that I earned. And I'm thinking, oh, will I actually use two machines at once? And you'll probably see that a lot of people now have had the ability that they're tending to choose to have two machines. You don't have to have two machines, but especially if you're a person who does a lot of meal prep, cooking, love entertaining, it might be the thing that will set you over getting that second machine. So definitely you might want to go with two of the same type of machines for whether it's aesthetic or the fact that you've got all those additional accessories. So I hope that gives you a little bit more of a thought. Remember, you know, whilst we've got amazing technology, the TM6 is just as good as the TM7, and it's just up to your personal preference as to what you purchase.